Hello, people of the page. I'm officially on my staycation that I do every year, and I've officially already had my book launch, so now we can talk a little bit about said book launch and the whole publishing aspect of the book. There is an official Q&A was recorded at the book launch, a whole Q&A interview that will be posted up soon. We're just in the final workings of editing it. So, publishing, right? Publishing is hard. Publishing is very, very hard. So I'm me, and I'm a perfectionist. Hi, Cynthia, perfectionist. A little anal retentive as well. And I also suffer from anxiety. And I was diagnosed in college as being manic depressive. So, publishing, super hard. I decided to self-publish, right? I know I studied publishing at Emerson College. I got my degree in it. So I know a little bit of how it works and how to actually publish and how to actually market, right? These are things I studied. So, using my degree. Still hunting for an agent, although I know I picked the wrong book for an agent because agents don't normally want to take on a first book in a series, right? Because they have to be able to market it, and as a debut author, publishers really just want standalones in order to start new authors, right? That's kind of like their takeaway. So a lot of agents will not accept first book in series. So this isn't really the book to market to an agent, but it is the book I wanted to start with, right? And that was a question that was asked in an interview, like, why this book? Why the first book in a series, right? In a quartet? Why the first book, young adult contemporary romance, which, if anyone knows me, I am not a romance girly. I don't read a whole lot of contemporary books. You can look at my blog, you can look at everything I review. Looking for something that's contemporary, let alone young adult contemporary romance, it's going to be very few and far between. I like sci-fi fantasy. I like horror. I like paranormal, right? Those are the things that I like to read. So the fact that I went so left field and wrote a young adult contemporary romance was kind of a shock for everyone, especially because I have a paranormal romance trilogy that I have written. It does need to be reworked though, desperately. I need to take as much time as I did with this quartet to go through it line by line and do a whole nother round of edits, because I was just rereading it and I'm like, this needs a refresh. It does. I need to take the time to do it, right? To go through and edit it, right? Why this one? Because it's something real, weirdly enough. But that's also why I decided to self-publish, because it's the work that I've done that I am most emotional about. The one that means so much to me that I chose. That's why I chose it. It's the one that's the realest for me, and it's the one I really, really, really wanted to publish because it's meaningful and it's so relatable. Like, I read it and I'm like, God, I wish, as someone who kind of has a toxic relationship with her mother, as someone who dealt with and does deal with, mental illness, but didn't know, that I was, that Pedro Pascal SNL skit where Marcelo's his son is like, he's depressed. He's like, mi hijo is not depressed. He just likes the dark. I'm Mexican. full-blooded Mexican. I know I don't look it, but I'm a full-blooded Mexican with a very Mexican mother, right? Opening up about my mental illness to her did not go well. Did not go well at all. It was very much like that scene, just not as funny. So I wish, this is a book that I wish someone had written, so that way I could have read it when I was that age, 14, 15. To have something to relate to and be like, oh my God, she's going through what I'm going through. And it would have like really shook up. Because a lot of times growing up, everyone kept saying, and I think this just kind of allowed the toxicity to exist. They used to call me, my mom, Rory and Lorelai Gilmore. And, we were each other's best friends. And, that's fine to be best friends with your kid. But here's what Lorelai did that my mother didn't do. Lorelai let Rory make mistakes. She let her, I was not even allowed to date. I was never allowed to have friends over my house to do homework. Even me going over to other people's houses, that was like a no. That it was school, my mom's work, or home. Nada más. I could not do anything else, My mother was pretty much my entire life. I did not have life outside of my mother. She did not have her own friends. In fact, she very much isolated herself to the point where I was her only friend. Her college friends would message me on Facebook and say, hey, what's your mom's email? We're trying to get in touch. She very much isolated herself. And that kind of really sucks because then I became her only friend. And it really formed a very toxic relationship between us to the point where even when I was in college in Massachusetts and she lives in Florida, call me when you get home. Call me when you're in your dorm. Even when I had a 4-hour class, I'd call her in the break in the middle of class because that was like a demand. And if I didn't call her, she would lose her ever-loving fucking mind on me and become psychotic. If she called and I missed it, instant screaming, why didn't you pick up your phone? That was kind of the relationship I had with my mother. And until I went to therapy in college, and finally got diagnosed, I did not realize that it was a toxic relationship. It was, oh God, toxic. It was toxic. And it still is toxic, unfortunately. There's no kind of balance between us, unfortunately. It is what it is. It sucks. Maybe one day we'll get there to like a healthy kind of relationship. I don't think living with her is really going to help at the moment. I really think I gotta like get out. But, houses in Florida are expensive. But husband and I are working on it. We're working on it. But I mean, that's why I wanted to do this book. And that's why I decided this book. And that's why I just decided to self-publish it. I've edited it so many times over the past decade. I've probably edited this book 11 times to get it to the point where I can want to read it. Like, I pick up my book. I literally was at Galentine's and I was staring at my friend who bought my book. I was staring at the book and I'm like, I just want to pick it up and read it. There was a time I just wanted to trash the whole thing. And I'm just like, this is awful. This is horrendous. But now it's at the point where I'm like, you know what? I love it. I love reading it. I genuinely love reading my own book. And it makes me so happy. And that's why I did it. Because I wanted to publish something relatable. I wanted to publish something that people would be able to connect to. And the mental illness aspect isn't really addressed in this book. It's foreshadowed, but it's further explored in the second book. This is also like kind of a wish fulfillment kind of series as well. Like, man, because I hated high school. I wish high school had gone this way. I wish I had learned faster from my mistakes earlier on. It's like, I still screw up. Like, that's part of just life. You screw up, you learn from it. And I would not undo the mistakes that I made just because I did learn from them. And I do think I became a better person. But I want other people to know that they're not alone. You're not alone. And I genuinely wish that this was a book that I had read when I was younger. So, yeah. Check out New Girl. It's available at Barnes & Noble. It's also available on Amazon. I'm working on the KDP edition, okay? There's a lot of text bubbles in my book, so formatting those for a Kindle, it's not as easy as you would think. But yes, New Girl is available on Amazon in paperback and also on Barnes & Noble. So check it out. I hope you love it and I hope you enjoy it.